Hi, I'm Mandy Wildman, and I am here today with Tod Waters, designer, fashion redesigner. I have so many questions, but I'm going to just jump right in and say, how
Okay.
did you get started doing this?
Okay. It was an accident. I sang in bands mostly. I grew up in punk rock bands playing gross small clubs, but the guys that I idolized always had leather pants, and
Hmm.
so if you're older like me, like I think it was there was just the stuff that you could get at the mall that was terrible. It was thin,
Yeah.
you know. And then I was always trying to alter my clothes all through growing up. So eventually I ended up moving to Los Angeles in 2001, where I actually met someone who does it professionally, leather denim for all the big time people. And she was really, really generous. And I was like, look, I just want to learn how to make a pair of pants that look cool. That's what I would love to do. And she basically showed me how to do that. At the same time, I didn't have a sewing machine. So I learned on a Juki walking foot, which is probably one of the more difficult machines to learn on. Um,
Right.
but that's how I learned it. And so what had happened was I was also working at a screen printer, this other dude named Todd, and it was, a way to make my mass production dreams come true as far as t-shirts go. But then as I learned how to sew, I started like converting pants into vests and some other stuff, like stuff I would find at garage sales. At the same time, I was working on these pants. But the point that I always tell people that when I started is Lenny Kravitz had a stylist that my friend was working for, and so he came over and he's like, "What's this stuff?" She's like, "Oh, that's this other guy." He's like, "Well, I want to buy it." So at the time, like, I know it's weird. So I was living in
Exciting.
LA. I probably had like two roommates. So I think my rent at the apartment maybe was my part was like 350 or something. And so she called me up and I had three vests there that I'd printed these giant, like crazy glittery 70s Cobras on. And she was like, "Hey, this guy's over here. He wants to buy these vests." And, she was from New York. So she's like, "How much do you want for them?" And I was like, "I don't know, like 80 bucks each or something." And
Right.
she's like, they're $500 each. And he bought all of them. And
Lenny
so
Kravitz bought all your t-shirts for 500 bucks a piece.
he bought, his stylist bought three of the vests that I had made.
Right.
I was
Wow.
printing giant cobras on t-shirts and then I'd cut them out and then I'd reconstruct jeans into denim vests and I'd put these cobras on the back. So I had a variation of those there and I was hand dyeing everything with Rit and everything.
Right.
And I just remember going like, man, I'm in the wrong business. Like that was a $1,500 paycheck. I'm like, that's like 3+ months of rent for me. Like,
Right.
wow.
So are
Yeah.
you from like a very creative background? Because you're talking about this and you're saying, well, I did this and then I did this and then I did that, as if it just was second nature to you. What gives?
Well, well, I mean, I would have originally said I came from like a square family.
Okay.
I apparently did not, because like I look back and it's like when I was growing up, I remember always looking at my mom's oil paints because I like the smell. And so my mom, they adopted me when I was like when they were like 30s. They grew up during the Depression. She grew up in a generation where they sewed everything.
Right.
So she sewed everything, like our Halloween costumes. She'd taper our pants, she'd make the curtains, whatever. She was always sewing. So really, when I think, and then when she couldn't sew because her eyes got bad, then she was just knitting all the time,
Hmm.
crochet and all
Hmm.
that. And so when I think of like what I imagine a productive artist is like, it's like my mom. And it took me like 40 years to even realize like
Yeah.
he was always doing something. Then she's messing around with calligraphy, and then she was taking watercolor classes like in her late 70s. I'm like, so yeah, I think I actually was. And a mix of that, and then I had my best friend in elementary, and it was named Elliot Burke. His mom was like this wild hippie, and she would always have something. We would trace each other on giant pieces of paper, and then we would draw the costume. Like, okay, let's make everyone pirates, for instance. And
Wow.
so and we were always just making stuff. Tried to
Right.
make our Star Wars movie. We were doing Super 8 movies, trying to make the costumes, trying to do the makeup. So we were always trying to figure out something.
And of course, we didn't have the cell phones and what have you. We weren't just constantly distracted by that. So you were inspired by leather pants. I get it. I
Yeah.
remember. And then you had to learn how to make them, and that's great. And then you had this sort of, I would call it maybe a big break
Mhm.
with the Lenny Kravitz designer there. And so here you are. Whoa! I just made $1,500, which back then was significant money, rent money, as you said.
Yeah.
So what was your next step? What happened?
I mean, and looking back on it, I'm pretty sure that my friend, and she like always wants to remain nameless. She like wants no credit for anything, but I'm pretty sure exactly what she did was she was tired with dealing with all the pop stars, and I think that she just passed my number on everybody. So then, right after Lenny Kravitz, I did like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Shakira, and a couple of those other girls because they were all going through the dirty phase. So if you can think of it in the timeline, there's Christina Aguilera actually had a song called Dirty. So all that leather was designed by my friend, my mentor, I consider my teacher. And I was just like, exact right place, right time, and someone who was like super generous to just give my number to everybody because I'm pretty sure she was just tired of dealing with them.
And I think that mentors eventually, I think even for myself in the upcycle clothing business, you kind of want to pass it on. You kind of want to see other people shining and flying. So what is your most favorite outfit that you ever made?
I think it might be this silver, and it's the whole outfit. There was a big, crazy silver reflective trench coat and pants that were all studded and this was all for Vince Neil. So this was when they did their Las Vegas residency the first time around. Oh, but I see pictures of that, and I'm always like, man, that is cool. So I started experimenting with denim and waxing and screen printing textures, and then foil. Foiling, if you're screen printing, you can foil in texture. You can make designs and crackly and crinkly. And so I love that outfit because it also had a belt buckle that was like these aces of spades all spread out, and it was like lit. The pants were crazy. And then on top of the pants, there was like chaps that were also crazy with all these flames in different colors.
I'm sort of curious as to your option to go with sort of upcycled and reclaimed stuff. Was that sort of a moral obligation kind of a decision where we want to keep the stuff out of the landfill, or was it absolute necessity? Like, where are you going to find this stuff? Where did you find the stuff?
All the cool stuff was at the thrift store. Texas is like super garage sale friendly also. So I don't think it was a conscious decision. I know my mom like got really mad at me because I would steal my dad's t-shirts out of the laundry room. And I love those. I would put on like, 3, 4, 5 shirts because I felt like I looked like a mummy because they were all torn and weird looking. So I had this weird kind of fixation with that in horror movies and in texture. But really in LA, the main thing was kind of the, budgetary, I already had a love for going to Army surplus thrift store garage sales.
Right.
When I got into leather, if you want to buy like a full leather hide, you're talking about, some serious coin. And then I was like, oh my God, when I found out there was a place that sold leather by the pound. They sell scrap, and they sell the thing that I like, which is the ends, which nobody uses. I mean, now they do.
Do you have any help? Do you have a whole team? Do you have a studio? What's your preferred way of working?
It's varied. Like, when I've had to do big jobs, I've had as many as 7 people in my workshop in Los Angeles before. I had to do a Black Veil Brides full outfits for 5 band members in 2 weeks thing, and I just called in everybody that I knew. Now, kind of getting back into wanting to have a couple people there. So right now I have a guy that works 2 days a week, and then I have another intern that works 1 day a week.
What's an outfit, or what's a style, or what's maybe a person or whatever that you really would love to create before life goes away?
I mean, he just doesn't wear clothes, but I mean, Iggy Pop would be awesome. But right now, I mean, the thing I've been kind of thinking about in for the past like year or so is how do I take the most distressed, disgusting, repulsive, layered stuff and make it look really, really, really tight, like at the same time. So I'm thinking, I mean, you can do that in a few ways. I mean, you can do that with how it's tailored, of course. I'm like, also, you can do something that's totally crazy, like do screen printing that's totally clean, you know? So I'm trying to think of a bunch of different ways to bring it together where someone would be like, from far away. So, because the thing is, like with stage wear, a lot of the times when I'm talking to people, I'm like, look, you also have to remember, even though there's jumbotrons, there's people that are in really bad seats, like way, 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 way back.
Right.
And that's part of the reason I started experimenting with that foil, because you stick a big light on it and it looks crazy, even from really far away. So I'm like, how can I make something that looks from really far away almost like neon at a Blade Runner, but then by the time you get close to it, you're like, wow, this is like layered, textury. I don't know what it is, you know. So I want it to transform by distance.
I love that. I love the layered, textury, bright. Tod, you really have your own style. I don't think it's even describable. It's the Tod Waters style. It's that style. I want to be like him. It's that kind of thing. That's how I look at it.
I would like to think so. The other moment I think why actually like when I felt like I had arrived is when someone uses the company name as an adjective.
Yeah.
Like a guy was like, "Oh, that's Junkard," and I was like, "Oh, cool." You know, it's kind of like has transformed. And there's like a ton of people that do disgusting clothing now. When I did it, there was a lady. I'll never forget. There's a really like hoity-toity store I wanted to sell to off of Melrose called Maxfield's, and the lady's name was Sarah. And I just remember she was just like, "No one's gonna buy dirty clothes." I just, you know, and it's something that I just don't ever want to be, which is like absolutely 1000% of something I'm gonna say that could be considered more of an opinion, you know.
Right.
She did that with all the conviction in the world, with all of her, you know, years in retail and all of her famous clients, and she was absolutely 1000% wrong. And not only was she wrong, she could never get me back on the phone.
Yeah. No, why?
She was never bothered to pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, man, you know, maybe we should put some of your stuff in here. Let's see how it does." Like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you showed her. Well, I can tell you with 1000% conviction that your stuff is amazing. I really appreciate you taking the time. Tod Waters, your company name is Junker Designs, folks. So that's where you're going to find the really unbelievably amazing, edgy stage wear stuff that's been Todified.
Just say Junkard. It's been Junkard.
It's been Junkered. All right, Tod, thank you so much. Good luck with everything, and we'll talk soon.